All right, so we are back with another episode. We have beautiful Neil and Ali here, and today we are talking about having a mentor.
So for me, I think it's the ultimate hack to getting where you need to get to, no matter what the domain is, right? So whether it's career, whether it's business, whether it's sport, like anything, you can find a mentor in. So it's completely up to you. Find someone who is maybe just a couple of steps ahead or a couple of years ahead.
If I want to learn something, I either try to do it and continue to do it until I figure that shit out, versus I start hanging out with people who have already done it.
When I got a mentor, then I learned a sentence that has been very foundational for me. The teacher appears when the student is ready. And I think sometimes the first push is something that you do until you get to a level where, fun enough, is the level of stagnation. A lot of times this is where someone will take you to a new height.
And also, like, if you feel stuck, if you feel like you need guidance or you need help, reaching out won't be the worst thing that could happen. All right, so we are back with another episode. We have beautiful Neil and Ali here, and today we are talking about having a mentor, because I think when it comes to you reaching a certain professional level, it becomes hard for you to manage a lot of the expectations that your team has, that you yourself have from your own, and at times guidance is extremely important from somebody who has done it, who has lived through it, and who can share experiences with you and can actually tell you what are the right steps that you can take and can give you advice, basically. And I've never had a mentor, but I have heard a lot from people who have been extremely successful that mentors can really accelerate your growth because essentially they have done it all, right? And from my side, like, I have just learned from my own mistakes, but it's also better to learn from other people's mistake who can possibly accelerate your path to wherever you want to get to. So I think I would start with Neil, because I do think that he has had mentors, coaches who have helped him. So would love to understand his point of view and what has he actually achieved by listening to these mentors.
Yeah, yeah. So for me, I think it's the ultimate hack to getting where you need to get to, no matter what the domain is, right? So whether it's career, whether it's business, whether it's sport, like anything, you can find a mentor in. So it's completely up to you what you want to excel in. So for example, like me, I wanted to uh, get someone who is ahead of me in business. So that's exactly what I did. Find someone who is maybe just a couple of steps ahead or a couple of years ahead, let's say. So that way I get to fast track my progress, because there's so much information out there, but when it comes to reality and actually doing things, it's a whole different ball game, right? And everyone has a unique journey in some way, but there are lessons along the way. And if you can absorb that as quick as possible, if they can catch your mistakes, if you can, whenever you're stuck, you can go to someone and get it, the questions answered. Might not be the right answer, but at least they can tell you what not to do, which is super important as well, right? Now, that may be in, let's say, business, for example, which is how I used mentors. um but then there's the other side. Like, for example, I wanted to start learning a different sport. At one time I had a coach teaching me parkour, um and in this case it's the same concept, right? But you may not be able to have a mentor. It's not so easy to find mentors and stuff all the time, depending on who you're seeking. But you can find a coach or someone who's a trainer in a specific field, for example, if it's sport, and that would fast track your progress. If I go on YouTube and start, trying to do stuff, like, I may get some of it, and after a couple of months I may make progress, but then I may start off with the wrong form, and that may build up and have improper movement patterns. So then I took the initiative to do this and then fast track my progress. Like, after the first session, I was already, jumping on walls and stuff, and it was cool. It was a good experience. Just did it for fun, but that is, like, to me, one path you can take as well. So a mentor, how do you actually get a mentor as well, is important, right? Like, I think not everyone has the time and availability to mentor someone, so it should be a value add for them. At the same time, as in, you need to be helping them with something or providing your expertise if it's something else, or in some way you need to make sure you're not just there to take, let's just say. So that is important, and there is no fixed rule or way to do this. Like a lot of people who are successful, they always say, um, having a mentor is one of the number one things that help them get ahead. And I 100% agree with that. It's like, you can try to do it alone and try to figure things out, and you may get there eventually. But if you want basically to go into the fast lane, I think it's the ultimate hack. And of course, like you can say, philosophically, like, yes, you have your own path and you need to experience your setbacks to get stronger. Yes, you're gonna have that anyway, but at a faster pace, basically. So yeah, that's my quick take on it. Ali, what do you say?
Dude, I love the fact that when you says that's my quick take on it, I could just write a book based on that.
Well,
And the
summary.
second part is, dude, we need to be honest in here because when Neil says, "Oh, I started jumping around after the first session," you have been jumping on trees and in the woods your entire life, man. You're born parkour, man. What the heck? You could teach that guy about parkour, and the guy's like, "Oh, I could learn after the first session." I'm like, "Yeah, maybe we need to know the full history, bro. Look at the rougher, man. We barely come upstairs and then without dying, but." Back to the topic of mentorship. The two things that I was highlighting in here. The first one is the teacher appears when the student is ready. And I think that one is a very foundational concept that trust that someone will come your path and guide you. But you need to, of course, do your effort by yourself and do the first pushing until, again, I think the acceleration part, and then maybe someone will really take it to the next step. I think that was the first one. The second one is that in order to get a mentor in your life, a good way of seeing it also that you also need to mentor people that maybe is below you or people who also want to get up to your state. And again, what I'm saying here, I think it's very much of an ecosystem where people are supporting each other to race. And if you want to have a mentor, be a mentor. Do you want to have a raise or getting more money? Spend some money. Do you want to be more knowledgeable? Then give some people knowledge. And I think that's this again, at least that's what I believe in. If I want to have more things in my life, then I need to give from it because then it creates a certain ecosystem. And that's my take on it.
Yeah, and I think I totally agree because I mean, from my side, I've always been seeing this in a way where if I want to learn something, I either try to do it and continue to do it until I figure that shit out. Um, Versus I start hanging out with people who have already done it. So like I think I've told you guys about the product that I'm working on, which is the sleep product. Like I think one of the biggest reasons why I also opted in was because both of the people who I'm working with are like seasoned entrepreneurs. One of them has a company which is doing millions. The other one is has been a consultant and has already started a company. So for me, like just being in that company helps me understand, what are the things that they are doing and what might I not be doing, because I think energy is a big thing. And there are some people who just operate on a different level, and I think we have already always, we have all worked with Vision, and we know that how he works, it's just incredible. And if you're just sitting in a meeting with him, there is so much learning because he has done it, and he has done it again and again and again, and he truly believes that he can, whatever he puts his mind to, he can achieve it. And I think that is something that has helped me. But what I'm taking away from this conversation is that if you have a particular problem, like how Neil mentioned, may it be your fitness, may it be your business, may it be your financials, find a person who has done it and probably reach out to them. I'm sure if you reach out to people, they are probably be open to have a chat with you, go for a coffee, or just share their knowledge and their wisdom. And I think a lot of the people are extremely scared to reach out to people because they think that why will they even waste their time. So I'm not too sure how, when you guys went and found a mentor, was it a paid arrangement, or you went and looked them up and then sent them a message? How was it?
So for me, it was people that I already kind of knew in the network. So wasn't like, cold some stranger or something. So that was much easier. But I know stories, like I haven't done it myself, of people like reaching out, sending an email, But the main thing is they can't feel like they're wasting their time, right? Like, okay, in for the average person who is, maybe ahead, and you may think that they would be a good mentor, then probability of them agreeing may be in your favor, right? Because uh, if someone reaches out and asks for your help or your guidance or something, that's almost like a compliment. It's like, wow, yes, I would want to help this person. That's how we naturally are. If you're a good person, so you're already going in with that bias there, let's say. But the other point is the adding value part. So if you say, okay, this person, built a specific product and launched it already, you may not be doing the same exact thing, but you're like, okay, I want to bring this product to market. I'm already 50% there. They need to know that you are ambitious. You're already working on something. You're not just there to absorb, and and they have to hold your hand. They want to find someone who is already or they'll be more willing to work with someone who's already doing something, and just need a little bit of course correction, let's say. And the other thing is adding value to them. So if you have a specific skill, and you see you can help them, or let's say it's their business or something project they're working on, and you can add value there, then you can, pitch that as well. It's like, hey, I know this is what you did with X, Y, and Z. I would love to get your input on this, and I see you fall short here. These are my recommendations. So give them the value, and then they'll be in the state of what is reciprocity, right? So they're very much inclined to actually help you and stuff. And sometimes you may just need to get what is called a foot in the door, as in, help them in some small way, make a small request. Then after if you meet in person, you have a chat, whatever, then you can go into the bigger request. So start with something small, or the opposite to that, right? So there's no definitive way. It's like you make a big request, and then you go with something smaller when they decline on that. So then the small request seems like nothing, because the request you made before was, maybe a bit too much. But I would say, if you just get a conversation and you genuinely can benefit from their help, they can genuinely benefit from you being around them as well, then I think there's no reason why you shouldn't be successful with engaging a mentor. Yeah.
I think that's a very, very good point. Because when I was thinking about it, it's not just about asking, I need your help, but I think it's more of how can I be of service? Because most of the time you learn by shadowing someone else, and plus their energy will be spilling over to you. I swear to God, if Rafi smiles one more time, why are you beautiful? And then I think the second part that we need to understand in general, I think, is human psychology. It's the whole fulfillment part, again, the Maslow pyramid, and then at the top of it, one part of human is that we give back or we share from our experiences. It's what create part of our self-fulfillment and so on. Do you agree, Rafi?
Yes, I agree. I agree. Please don't look at me like I'm just been thinking a lot. But I totally agree. I think reciprocity is something that a lot of the people don't really think about. Um, because if you go with an intention that I'm here to help if you need any help, and can you help me with whatever you already know, I think that's a great point, and that's a great takeaway that we can take from this. And also, like, if you feel stuck, if you feel like you need guidance or you need help, reaching out won't be the worst thing that could happen. Like, I think there are several worse things that could happen, where you waste your time, where you keep failing miserably and you have no guidance, versus you reach out and you give it your shot and see if you hear back from them.
Yeah. And then there's the other option as well. I think we can mention is, so mentorships is great when you have um, the time, let's say, to build a relationship and stuff, right? It can be a really powerful thing. However, let's say you have limited time, but you do have money, then the other option may be coaching. So you can get coached in anything, right? And there's coaches from, I don't know, a couple $100 to thousands of bucks, depending on what it is you're looking for. So there's always this option, and it may seem like, this is a lot of money and all of this, but if you can save yourself a year, 2 years, or 3 years, would you pay, a couple $100 or a couple grand for that time? And that's how you need to look at it. So that is another very powerful thing. Is like, how do you keep getting to the next level? Is like, you always need to find a way to basically implant this knowledge and this know-how in you as soon as possible, because that would save you the most essential thing, which is your time, right?
Absolutely. Ali, let's close it.
I don't have much more in me than repeating the part where we said the teacher appears when the student is ready. So keep pushing, and trust me, when you're ready, the right person will come your way. Paid, non paid, I don't know how that person will come in your life, but that person will definitely come in your life. And that's it. And hope you find the right mentor or you become a mentor yourself. That's the ending from my
Yeah.
side, and we'll see you in the next podcast.
We'll see you in the next
Peace.
episode. Ciao, you guys.